The speak about the photo question looks like this. So you will be given an image and then you have to describe it for 90 seconds. There is only one speak about the photo question on the test. And it counts toward your conversation, production, and speaking subscores. You will have 20 seconds to study the image before you have the 90 seconds to respond. So this is different from write about the photo. With write about the photo, you see the image and the 60-second timer to respond starts right away. With speak about the photo, you have an additional 20 seconds to study the image and prepare your response. After those 20 seconds is up, then the recording begins and you have 90 seconds. The first tip is to speak for all 90 seconds. On the DET, you do not gain points by going faster, and by speaking for all 90 seconds, you are going to really make sure that you use a lot of vocabulary and that you describe the image in great detail, which is really going to raise your score. So I know that it can be hard to describe some images for 90 seconds. Don't worry, I'm going to teach you strategies and tips next. But it's important that you practice responding for all 90 seconds so that on the test you are able to do this. It's really important to make sure that you do this in order to get a high score. You should also know that you can only record yourself one time. So for all speaking questions on the DET, you can only record yourself one time. So if you make a mistake, don't panic, just keep moving forward. You do not have to have a perfect response in order to get a perfect score on the test. I know because I've taken the test twice. I got a perfect score both times, and I certainly made mistakes while I was writing and speaking, as well as on other questions, okay? So, speak about the photo is generally more difficult than write about the photo. And here's why. It's because you have to speak for 90 seconds, and we speak faster than we write. So this means that your response for speak about the photo is going to be much longer than your responses for write about the photo. For write about the photo, we recommend that you write at least 3 sentences or at least 30 words. But for speak about the photo, we recommend that you speak at least 10 sentences or around 100 words. In other words, your speak about the photo responses should be about 3 times as long as you write about the photo responses. And this means that you really have to describe a lot more details in your speak about the photo responses than you do in write about the photo. So whenever I tell students that they should speak for about 100 words or 10 sentences for speak about the photo, their first question is, how can I speak that much? The first tip is to use a strategy. I'm going to teach you that strategy next. Second is learn vocabulary. This is why in this course we have so many lessons about vocabulary that you can use when describing an image. You really need to make sure that you have broad vocabulary that you can use so that you are prepared for whatever images you see on the test. And finally, practice. There is simply no way to improve without practicing. So watch these videos, learn the vocabulary, but then be sure that you do practice questions in Arno so that using these strategies, using this vocabulary becomes easy for you to do so that you can do it quickly and accurately on the test. So here is the strategy for speak about the photo. Let's recall the 3-step template that we covered for write about the photo. So the first step is a general description of the image. Then we zoomed in on a detail, and then we speculated about why things are the way they are. We are going to adapt this template for Speak About the Photo. So here is the template for Speak About the Photo. You're still going to start with that general description. Then you're going to focus on a detail. But then you are going to pick up on another detail. And then you're going to speculate about those details. And then you're going to find another detail. And another detail. And then speculate about those details. And then you're just going to keep going like this. So I hope it's clear that how you approach Speak About the Photo questions is very similar to what you have already mastered for Write About the Photo. The only difference is that for Speak About the Photo, you need to describe more details in order to fill up those 90 seconds. And then you're going to speculate multiple times about different details. So in Write About the Photo, we basically use that 3-step template just once, but for Speak About the Photo, we're going to reuse that template multiple times in order to fill up all 90 seconds. So what we're going to do now is look at some examples of a Write About the Photo description of an image, and then for the same image, the Speak About the Photo description. That way you can see how the same principles and strategies are going to be used in Write About the Photo and Speak About the Photo. All right, here's the first example, and here is the Write About the Photo response. This image depicts a wide city street. In the foreground, there are 2 people on a white scooter. Perhaps they are tourists who are sightseeing. Now, let's say that this image was shown to you for the Speak About the Photo question. Here's how your response would be different. You would still start with that general description. This image depicts a wide city street. Then, you're going to focus on some details. In the foreground, there are 2 people on a white scooter. But I'm going to stay focused on that part of the image and describe it in even more detail. So I'm going to say that they are both wearing helmets. The driver is wearing a black t-shirt, black pants, and white sneakers. The passenger in the back is wearing white shoes, a light blue shirt, white socks, and red sandals. It looks like a school uniform. Then I'm going to speculate about that part of the image. And I'm going to say, judging by the school uniform, perhaps the passenger is the driver's son or daughter, and their dad is taking them to school. Then I'm going to focus on a different part of the image and describe it in detail. In the background, we can see tall, modern buildings. In front of these buildings, we can see a historic building that looks like a temple. In front of the temple are some bushes and maybe some grass. And then I'm going to speculate about that part of the image. Perhaps there is a small park there. It may be the case that this temple is an important cultural landmark that is protected by the government and cannot be demolished. Then, I'm going to focus on another part of the image. Although this street is wide and busy, it appears well maintained. In addition, there are crosswalks and I believe bike lanes for pedestrians and cyclists. and then I'll speculate about all those details. Presumably, this city is a pleasant place to live where it is easy to get around by car, bike, or on foot. And after I speculate about those details, then I could just keep going and describe another detail. There are sunny skies, so the weather seems agreeable. And I just keep going like this until the timer is up. So you can see that how I approached this speak about the photo question was not fundamentally different from what I did for write about the photo. I still identified details, I used descriptive language to describe what I saw, and then I speculated about those details. And I just did that multiple times for speak about the photo, whereas in write about the photo, I really just did that for one detail. Let's look at another example. All right, if this was a write about the photo question, here's what I could have. A man and his daughter are standing in a grassy field. Behind them are cows of different sizes and colors. Perhaps they are farmers, and this is their farm and their cows. Let's now look at how I can expand on this answer to create a speak about the photo response. A man and his daughter are standing in a grassy field. That's the same. Behind them are cows. The cows are different colors, including gray, black, brown, and white. Some cows have a mixture of colors. The cows are also different sizes. So you can see here the aspect of the photo I'm focusing on are the cows. And I'm going to describe everything that I can about the cows. And then I'm going to speculate about those cows. Perhaps these two people are farmers, and this is their farm and their herd of cows. Then I'm going to focus on another aspect of the image. The farmer's daughter is hiding a little bit behind her father's arm. Then I'll speculate about that. Judging by her body language, she is shy of the photographer. Then I'll pick up on another detail. In the distance, we can see a cloudy sky. I'm not sure whether it is sunset or sunrise. I know that farmers have to get up early, so presumably this picture was taken at sunrise. And then I'll continue to speculate. Judging by the dark yellow color of the grass, I don't think that this is summer or spring, when the grass would be lush. Rather, I think this is more likely fall. However, this could be an arid region where the grass is usually dry like this. So let me recap. You use the same strategies for write about the photo as you do for speak about the photo. The only difference is that for speak about the photo, you have to describe more details in the image, which also gives you the opportunity to speculate about each set of details. So that's it for speak about the photo. If you already did all the lessons for write about the photo, then you are already able to produce high scoring speak about the photo responses. And if you practice a little bit so that you can learn how to describe multiple details and speculate about each set of those details, then you're going to be able to get a high score on speak about the photo responses. All right, I'll see you in the next lesson.